And then in class the next day, we'll break out the manipulatives, and they'll build them concretely, and then they'll draw pictures, and they've kind of got a model of what it's going to look like. But I still want them doing that in class because that's what my standard says they're supposed to do. And then that last one, determine if given values make equations or inequalities true. I can kind of model that for them. So I picked out those four thinking those are the basics. Because the next set are things that I want to be in the room when kids are doing it. When they're writing equations and inequalities to represent constraints or conditions within problems, I pretty much want to be there with them when I introduce that one. I don't want to leave that up to a video. I want a human in the room. When they are writing their own word problem to match one, I want to be in the room. We want to do some of that together. So I just kind of went through and picked out, and I'll be honest with you, I looked at it based on Bloom's taxonomy. What are the lower level things? That's what I'm going to put in a flip. And anything that's pushing it up where they're doing some application, I'm going to do that with them in the classroom. So I want to kind of piggyback on what Nancy said. A lot of what she said sometimes was how do we push kids to the next level? So I think we can string all this together and we can say anything that's that low level Blooms, and your standards of course are not like math, so I understand that. But you have that same idea, vocabulary. I love what you said about grammar. Those are just basic low-level factual information. That's what I want to put in a flip. And then when they have those facts in their head and they come, absolutely, you can do it however you want to do it. But if I've got an activity in class and they need some basic facts before I turn them loose, then let me give them those at home instead of wasting my class time. Because when I looked at those four standards and I thought I'm going to do a real quick fill in, it turned into 15 minutes. I thought, you know what, if it's 15 minutes with me trying to be concise, I probably would have just dragged that thing out to a whole class period. What a waste. When you think about that as the supporting, not the readiness, even though they're not labeled yet. Say that again. We went. I have to talk to you about that. And it wasn't what we wanted it to be, but it was still good. I said it. It was good, but it wasn't the clarification. All right, so that's where I started. I kind of looked at my standards and I said, what are the facts they have to know before we can jump in and play? And I like what you said about creativity. You're going to have, if you've got kids who can move a little faster, then you're going to have a different plan for them. But the average Joe, I want to get the vocabulary in them so I can get up and just start jumping in and talking. And I don't want to have to waste time explaining what things are. All right, so, no Mia. I tried to do everything